This is KGW News at 11.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Blair Best. We begin tonight with the triple-digit temps and a wildfire in the Willamette National Forest. Let's get right to meteorologist Joe Ranieri. And Joe, what can you tell us?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a quick second, but I want to talk about the warm temperatures that we experienced earlier this afternoon. Came pretty close to seeing record-breaking temperatures at the Portland International Airport with a high of 101 degrees. Gets even warmer heading into tomorrow. Currently, Blair, we're seeing temperatures in the low 80s, and it's at 11 o'clock at night. You get the idea. With this heat wave we're going to be experiencing over the next couple of days, we're not going to be seeing much of a cool down heading until at least maybe Thursday night, if not longer. Currently, across the metro area, it's the upper 70s to low 80s. Scappoose still at 85 degrees. Troutdale, a temperature of 76 degrees. In Pendleton, you're still looking at temperatures in the upper 70s at this hour. Daytime highs, again, anywhere from 100 to 105. Now, Troutdale hit 105. That was a record-breaking temperature. PDX, the record is 102. I think tomorrow we're going to be seeing widespread record-breaking heat with temperatures climbing anywhere from 105 to 110 up and down the I-5 corridor. The Dalles, you saw a high of 102. So this was, I'm forecasting here the next couple of days. So for tomorrow, yeah, 106 degrees. This is dangerous heat, Blair. And heading into Tuesday, a little bit cooler, but not by much. 104. Wednesday, 100 degrees. And there is a slight chance that we don't see temperatures above 100 heading into Wednesday. Anywhere from 98 to maybe 100 is kind of the range. The other thing we're tracking is the wind. And because of this wind, it's going to be fueling the chance to see more wildfires spread. Again, as we look at the watches and warnings throughout much of the metro area, really across the state, it's either a heat advisory, excessive heat warning up and down the I-5 corridor. That's that purple color. That red color you see is a red flag warning that's going to be in place. We have dry conditions, high heat, and of course the windy conditions as well. And speaking of some of the windy conditions and the wildfires, this is a picture that was sent to us just a couple of hours ago. This is from the latest fire that broke out in Lane County. This is being called the Lookout Fire. Now it's east of Eugene, north of the community of McKenzie Bridge. It's kind of a popular tourist area. You kind of drive throughout the McKenzie Bridge area if you're driving out to the central and eastern side of the state. It's in the Willamette National Forest. Now, right now it's at a level 3 go now for parts of Lane County. Currently, it's just under 200 acres at 195 acres. But again, the Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has declared the Emergency Conflagration Act, which means she can dispatch more crews. And again, you might remember this isn't burning that far from the bedrock fire that's been burning out of control over Lane County for the last couple of weeks. And the fire danger is going to be extremely high, as well as the heat too. So if you can avoid spending any time outdoors really past noon tomorrow, that's probably your best bet. And again, this is at least the next 3 days, potentially 4 days of temperatures right around 100 degrees. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you so much. Well, with those temperatures reaching triple digits, metro counties are trying to accommodate people in need. Cooling shelters and overnight centers are open across the area. Here's Thomas Schultz with the details.
Multnomah County opened 3 daytime cooling centers, along with libraries in the mall for people escaping the heat. Clackamas County has 2 overnight shelters open and many cooling centers. And in Washington County, a couple of overnight shelters are now open in Beaverton and Hillsborough.
We actually have a lot of locations that we're sort of setting up, some as cooling centers, but also just places that people normally go.
Dozens of volunteers across the Portland metro area are welcoming hundreds of people looking for an air-conditioned place to avoid the heat. 3 Multnomah County daytime cooling centers are stocked with water and snacks. 2 are in Gresham, the other in Old Town. These are coupled with libraries and the Lloyd Center, open to people looking for shelter.
If the forecast stays the way that it is, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see this be more than a one-day event.
Voss says Multnomah County usually relies on the National Weather Service Heat Index to determine if cooling shelters are needed. He says weather conditions didn't meet the usual criteria to open centers this weekend, but the county decided to open them anyway. One reason was because of the lengthy extreme heat expected.
The first day event is not as risky as the 3rd, 4th, 5th, because heat really just has a compounding concern that we've got to deal with.
As of Sunday afternoon, no overnight centers were open in Multnomah County. In Washington County, 2 overnight shelters opened Sunday morning.
So it's important for folks to stay inside with air conditioning, drink lots of water.
Roots says county employees are surveying areas where homeless people are known to congregate to alert them of the shelters. She expects the county will serve dozens of people over the next few days.
We have never hit capacity. We've served probably 100 people. So if we did hit a point where we truly were at capacity at both locations, we would hotel people.
TriMet is offering free rides to people going to cooling shelters. People can also call 211 if they're in need of transportation. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Meanwhile, health officials say now is the time to make a plan for you and your loved ones to make sure you have the supplies you need and a cool place to go, and to know the signs that heat is starting to affect you. It can be worse, experts say, in the very young and the elderly. Now, symptoms of heat-related illness include nausea, vomiting, a high temperature, and increased heart rate. If you have AC but you're worried about your bill, you may be able to get financial support. Call 211 for more info on that. Multnomah County has also been working to distribute air conditioners to underserved communities, especially since the deadly heat dome back in 2021 that killed 107 people across Oregon alone. And one more quick note for those of you in Portland who plan to get your garbage, recycling, and compost out this week. Waste management crews are starting around 6 in the morning to get their routes done before it really heats up. And we'll keep on top of the extreme heat as long as it lasts. Your latest forecast and weather headlines are available anytime on KGW.com and the KGW app.
No, we didn't just lose our homes. We lost our town. We lost history, you know? Our kids are traumatized. You guys messed up real bad.
Tonight, more residents on Maui speak out on what is now the deadliest wildfire in the U.S. in more than a century. At least 93 people have died so far, and the governor of Hawaii warns that number will only increase as search crews continue to find victims that weren't able to escape. Here's Tom Yamas with the latest on the search efforts and the new class action lawsuit against the utility company.
MG, wrong turn! Wrong turn!
Tonight, this is what it looked and felt like escaping the Lahaina wildfire.
Oh no, guys. No, we have to leave.
This new video showing the sheer panic as a family stuck in a line of cars had minutes to escape before the flames engulfed the road out.
This is a disaster.
That drive through hell is how Rafa Ochoa and his family made it out alive.
I knew it was bad.
And it was moving fast?
And it was moving fast, really fast. It got to our homes within seconds.
With the fast-moving fire closing in on his home, Ochoa heroically grabbed both his kids and his friends' children. Their parents were at work and scrambled everyone out.
Did you hear any alarms? Did you get any kind of warning?
No alarms, no warning, nothing. No sign, nothing that we had to evacuate. Not even police rolling by telling us to evacuate or anything.
The desperation of those chilling moments now turning to anger.
Where were you guys to try and get us out, evacuate us? You know, we're mad. We're mad. No, we didn't just lose our homes. We lost our town. We lost history, you know? Our kids are traumatized. You guys messed up real bad.
Hawaii emergency officials have said sirens on the island weren't activated during the fire, though other alerts by phone and broadcast were.
Having seen that storm, we have doubts that much could have been done with a fiery, fast-moving fire like that.
The scale of the devastating loss now unprecedented in modern times. The deadliest wildfire in the U.S. in more than 100 years, claiming at least 93 lives.
Just so you know, 3%, that's what's been searched with the dogs, 3%. When we pick up the remains and they fall apart, and so when you have 200 people running through the scene yesterday, I don't know how much more you want me to describe it. That's what you're stepping on.
As FEMA and the governor survey the damage, search teams with cadaver dogs that just arrived to Maui yesterday now scouring the ruins of historic Lahaina again today.
Are you saying we're just at the beginning of this disaster?
So for the first few days, we had done searches in the streets and the cars that were in the area. But we couldn't enter any structures. My police officers, they're trained to go chase bad guys, respond to robberies, take reports, but they're not trained to go enter smoldering structures to go look for human remains.
Questions are also mounting tonight over the cause of the blaze, which is still under investigation, with FBI evidence recovery teams now on scene. And a new class action lawsuit alleges the destruction could have been avoided if the utility company had de-energized its power lines ahead of the high wind weather. In a statement, Hawaiian Electric saying the utility doesn't comment on pending litigation, adding in part that high wind protocols were followed and that at this early stage, no cause for the fire has been determined.
This is Joel and Adela.
For hundreds of families, the focus remains their missing loved ones, and now a demand for answers.
We're not leaving. None of us are leaving. We're going to rebuild our town and we're going to make it better.
And tonight we're hearing from a man from Maui who now lives in Oregon on the wildfire that has destroyed his childhood hometown. 61-year-old Guy Taniguchi was raised in Lahaina with family still on Maui. He says his mother, sister, and brother-in-law all still live on Maui, but fortunately don't live near the wildfire. Despite his family being safe, he says he still can't believe the place he grew up in is now gone.
They only had a few minutes to get out, and some of them didn't even make it. I know of people who didn't make it and who are on the missing list.
He's been getting updates from his family since the wildfire and said they're doing all they can to help neighbors with the basic needs, such as providing supplies, water, and even home-cooked meals. And you can help too by making a donation to the KGW Northwest Response Fund. We're partnering with the American Red Cross on this. Red Cross volunteers are on the island, opening shelters and providing evacuees with a safe place to stay. You can text the word FIRE to the number on your screen. That's 503-226-5088. And we'll text you back with a link to donate to the fund. You can also donate in person at any local U.S. bank.